Hi, and welcome to This Is By Architecture. We're here with Bill from 47Lining, and among other things, he's a Redshift whisperer. So, Bill, what does 47Lining's do?
We are a big data consultancy that works almost exclusively with AWS and the big data tools.
Awesome. And you guys built something really cool for Redshift. You call it Redshift Overlord, right?
Absolutely.
Provocative name. I love it. What's happening here?
So, what we run into a lot of times is users will be down here. They want to run BI tools, run analytics against their Redshift, run some data pipelines to build up data, but they don't want their clusters on all the time.
Right.
And there's often a need to shut them down, bring them up, and managing all of that, and also managing, not stepping on toes. You know, Joe wants it up, but Bob wants it down, and all of a sudden Joe's left without a cluster.
Right.
We came up with a managed service in a separate AWS account for users wanting to work with Redshift in this mode to hit a static website through S3.
So like a management tool, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very simple web interface, allows you to log in. You're authenticated through Cognito back into Lambda.
Okay.
And with that, you can update a DynamoDB table that enables you to set votes for whether or not you want your cluster to be up or down.
Okay.
Users can do this, automatic tools can do this, the pipelines can do this. All these different tools come into Dynamo, and if the Lambda function that's polling sees that anybody wants it up, it will make sure the cluster comes up.
So the world's like a giant OR function, right?
Exactly. It's a giant OR function that allows the cluster to be up, and when all the votes say, no, we don't need it, the clusters come down, save a snapshot, go to sleep.
Okay.
Save money.
So walk me through the flow. What does this look like on the board?
So a user, like I said, would be looking at their Redshift. Maybe they decide they don't want their cluster up anymore. They could authenticate into S3, through Cognito, back into Lambda, and update a vote into here, and say they're the only vote, which would create a stop cluster with snapshot across the accounts to the Redshift cluster. The cluster would shut down with a snapshot.
Okay.
We've also built an alternate mode that people find much more attractive through Slack.
Yay, Slack. That's awesome.
Exactly. If you have a Slack account up here, you can use this channel and communicate directly with that, which will authenticate through the API gateway, providing the same functions through Lambda to Dynamo to the cluster, and you can bring it up and down simply by typing into your Slack channel.
But wait, there's more. You got data pipeline here too,
Absolutely. Right? So one of the models we love to have our clients use when they use data pipeline for doing their data management is to not use the scheduler inside the pipeline itself. And the main reason for that is you get more flexibility if you run it through CloudWatch through Lambda. As you were telling me earlier, this is pretty much cron as a service.
Right.
So they would activate their pipelines through a Lambda into data pipeline, which would act on Redshift. What we set up is a set of tools and functions you can put into your data pipeline that will also authenticate up to this Lambda functions, allowing the data pipeline to vote the cluster up so it can do its work the same way a user could. So in this way, you can have users voting the clusters up or down, but also have automatic processes doing the same thing. So the cluster is only up when all these processes want to function. By doing this cron as a service, it allows the data pipeline to be activated in an alternate way, which is from the Lambda for Overlord.
Okay.
So now if I have a data pipeline problem that needs a service, so a S3 bucket needs to be cleansed or something else needs to happen, the operator can come in and do that, and through the Slack channel again, just say, oh, rerun that pipeline. It will fire another activate to the same pipeline and complete its function the second time through.
Wow, that is super cool. Now, what if I want to like fire up Redshift before I get to work? You know?
Absolutely. So to do that, what we've done is we use CloudWatch events up in our Overload account. So we do this for several reasons. One is people like to have their Redshift clusters up for normal operating hours. So Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6, you want the clusters up so your workers can get things done. We can schedule that inside of CloudWatch very easily and keep the cluster on that schedule. So it's always up. People don't have to worry about voting. But let's say you're going to come in early on a particular day because you got to leave early. So you want the cluster to be up when you arrive. So that night before, what you'll do is you'll type into Slack asking Ravel, Redshift Overlord, that's this keyword is Ravel, to bring up the cluster at 7 a.m. So now it will create, through a Lambda function, a new CloudWatch event that will fire for the vote of the Redshift to come up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So
Wow,
by the time you
that's
get to
awesome.
work, it's up and ready to go.
Not that I ever get to work at 7 in the morning, but I like it in theory. That's awesome. Cool. I really like what you guys have done here. The name is fantastic. How do you keep things from having crosstalk? Like, how do you keep it super secure?
Sure. So one of the things we do to keep it super secure across these account boundaries is we're clearly assuming roles across accounts. We use external IDs for every one of the Lambda functions that have to communicate across accounts with a unique external ID for each Redshift cluster. So there's no possibility of a Lambda function which has been tagged for a particular client and their cluster cannot crosstalk and create any sort of actions against anybody else's cluster.
That's awesome. So saving money, super secure, cool name, Slack. It's all win. I love it.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. This is my architecture.